Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Uh-huh. Want some candy?
Hello there, Candy Killer Podcast Man. This is another episode of the Monster Candy Podcast with host Dominic Davy of Tsunami Bone.
Hi, everyone.
And the ballsy badass herself, Shotzi Blackheart.
Meep.
And I'm Screamin' E from the world's second greatest rock and roll band, the Memphis Murder Men. We'd like to welcome you all into our home to talk about The Bride of Frankenstein, and we hope you enjoy.
NPR. Really? You're going for NPR? That's what we're doing today?
What's about as exciting as this fucking movie is, so.
You know, that's really funny.
When we think you're gonna zig, you zag.
You guys have to understand that literally when he said he wanted to do the intro, we both braced, and if you could have seen us, both Shotzi and I were like, here it comes!
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do what he always does, screaming to the mic and be like, nah, I'm annoying, suck my dick, woohoo!
That was really good. That was an excellent NPR.
That was beautiful.
I never cease to amaze, sir.
Hey, I do what I can!
So yeah, alright. But before we do Bride of Frankenstein, it's time for horror news.
Horror news!
It's news time, everybody.
Oh my goodness. You're setting a weird tone here. We just ate pizza. It's a good night, but
It's a good night.
I don't know.
Well,
I
I'm glad.
I miss his energy a little bit.
You know.
Are you gonna talk like this throughout the entire podcast?
We'll just have to wait and see.
No one's gonna be able to hear this.
Okay, so what is? Give us some horror news, Shotzi. What do you got?
First on the list, let's give a big one. Leprechaun is coming back for sci-fi. Comes out March 2019.
Pot of gold, I like that.
And oh my goodness. And the director of The Void, Steve Kostansky, is directing it. So should be some cool practical effects in there.
Sounds like he might be Polish or Jewish, or both.
Or both. I mean, Polish people are Jewish sometimes.
Shotzi's half Polish. That's why this is an issue.
My last name also has a ski at the end of it, so I
thought it had a ert at the end of it.
No, it's a ski.
All right, that's pretty awesome. I don't know, Sci-Fi Channel though. Do you think it's gonna have a lack of teeth?
I mean, if it's anything like The Void and they just let him do whatever the fuck he wants, then it might be all right. It might be a good sci-fi film as opposed to like a CGI the fuck out of Sharknado type thing.
Right.
They released a teaser. It looks kind of fun. I was creeped out a little bit. I liked it.
These episodes come out much later than when we actually see it, so it just came out I think today.
Yeah.
But so
maybe yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it was St. Patrick's Day. Makes sense.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, whenever this episode goes up, we're actually recording it after St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So, that in mind, I don't know. I think it would be good. There's no way Jennifer Aniston's going to be anywhere near that.
She should be, Dominic. That would be a great, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think she's way too expensive for Sci-Fi Channel. She'd like double the budget alone.
What else does she have to do?
You think that. I'm just gonna roll with this. This is how you're talking. I'm just gonna go normal. That's fine. I can handle it. But I think you're kind of in protest. I think this is a protest voice because it's Bride of Frankenstein. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So.
Also.
Anything else?
Creepsville. Is it Creepsville 666?
Yeah.
Is releasing I just want to mention it because I really want one. They're releasing a mouse pad, Elvira mouse pad where the armrest is boobies, is Elvira's boobies.
Yeah, so they're like sticking way out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Jelly
boobs.
It's funny because like when that came out, like the first thing you said is like, does anybody need mouse pads anymore? And the answer is no, not really.
But I want one. I probably will just like hang it on the wall or something.
Just have it like
yeah,
sitting there.
yeah.
I kind of would use it. It's one of those things that if you have, there's no way that makes a good impression on somebody new. Like if you invite somebody over for the first time and they come in, they see your fucking Elvira mouse pad with her big boobs. It's like there's no way you can like.
It's an icebreaker.
It's a conversation piece.
Yes, it's totally a conversation.
Shout out to my friend Julie Gooley who models for them.
Yeah. There you go. Shout out.
Julie Gooley.
But yeah, I kind of want one. I kind of want one because it's probably the closest I'll ever get to setting my arm on Elvira's breasts. So I'm.
Well, the next time she's at like a Monster Palooza or something, you just got to give her a really long, awkward hug.
I don't think I don't know if I have the money for that. They're pretty cutthroat. Her daughter's a pretty good bouncer.
Really?
Yeah, it's usually her daughter that runs the line or a friend, and they charge for everything. And I'm not hating. Like,
well, you should just get a tattoo of her because I hear that she's really nice if you have a tattoo of her.
I still don't see any situation where she would literally let me rest my wrist against the boobs and click around her face.
Well, no, that's not happening.
That's not gonna ever happen.
That's not happening.
That would be. I
don't know. Maybe she'd let me.
I like how you paused and your eyes got far away as you like imagined that. Like,
well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a famous person touched my boobs at Monster Palooza.
There's a story there that
yes.
I really think.
Yes, Lita Ford was at Monster Palooza, and she grabbed my titties.
Really?
Yes.
That's forward.
She's fucking awesome. Yeah, she was really rad. Of all the famous people I've ever met in my life, she was
one of your favorites.
Number one.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
Number one.
She was fucking cool. Yeah. So
that's cool.
That was. I mean, she grabbed my titties. Like, how cool is that?
I can imagine it would. I can imagine situations where that would not be cool, but probably not with Lita Ford.
I wanted it, so it was cool.
It was all good.
Yes, it was all good. She did ask for permission, so.
You're like, I wanted it.
It was very consensual.
Like, don't ruin this, Dominic. I want this. This is happening. No, that's awesome. Okay, right on. That's, I don't know. It's like, I want that mouse pad.
Me too.
I'm a big Elvira fan.
Me too.
Are you an Elvira fan, E?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah?
And that mouse pad will help with carpal tunnel.
That's true. It does. It will help with carpal tunnel. Okay, I got one, though, for you guys. Elvira or Vampira? The classic debate.
Vampira.
Apples and oranges, man.
I do like both.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. That fart stinked a little bit. I'm sorry.
You shook the table.
We just ate pizza.
I might cut that out because you hit the table twice and it went...
I'm sorry. That was my fart. That was actually my fart. Don't cut it. Don't cut it.
That.
Okay. Are you just like leaving a marker?
Well, no, I'm just looking at this like big spike of sound.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, we'll listen to it, and if it's terrible, we'll cut it. If not, we can leave it.
Yeah, fair. All right. Anything else?
Should we talk about Mixtape Massacre?
Yes, we should.
So we played it and we Facebook lived it. If anyone saw it, which I don't think anyone really watched it because we just kind of did it out of nowhere on my birthday. Yeah. It's fun. I liked it.
So
it's a good game.
Little build up. There's a board game that came out. God, I didn't even look up the company that did it. We should totally look it up. Who it is?
Nah, fuck it. Why plug them?
Yeah, so
they paying us.
Nobody's paying. So there's this game I heard about from my brother called Mixtape Massacre, and he said it was one of the funnest board games that he had played in a long time, and he was like seriously recommending this game. And apparently, I don't know a lot about it, but I guess it's a Kickstarter game. I'm told like they kind of raised the money to do it, and then I hear that they got picked up by a larger company. But instead of going into all that, the game itself takes place in a town called Tall Oaks, and basically up to six players play as different horror film archetypes, non-copywritten versions of very famous.
Is that a reference to something?
I don't know.
Dogs.
This game is full of references
Yes,
to
yes.
80s movies.
Macho Man Randy motherfucking Savage made an appearance in this board game.
He beat me up at a bar. He literally
Yeah.
beat me up at a
Yeah,
bar.
he will kick your ass. You do not want to draw Randy motherfucking Savage, or you will be dead.
Stay away from the video store, guys.
Yeah, the video store turned out to be really bad. So basically, the town is the board game. You play killers that go around looking for victims and collecting trophies. The first player to get to a certain amount of trophies win. You have certain powers. You have certain different encounters. It almost kind of sets up like a Clue game where instead of rooms, there's different buildings. And in our game, this video store became literally a hell pit of death for any monster that tried to go there and do any damage. But
it was probably the last spot that had a kill that just could not be won.
Yeah, it was a super fun game.
It was
a
lot of fun.
And it's like a good party game for horror people.
That was a good birthday.
We were trying to do this fun thing where we could like live stream and talk to people and try and test it out. But like looking at the live stream, it's a little blurry. I don't know. We want to do like a live streamed episode so we can actually like
maybe
talk
if
to
enough
people
tell us to, then we will. You know,
Same,
maybe if we get enough messages in the DMs.
Yeah, hit us up.
Then maybe we will.
As the kids say, slide into our DMs.
Yeah, slide into our DMs.
I like that you're doing a transatlantic accent. You're in an NPR accent. I'm the only asshole holding it down with myself anymore. You're like, slide into your DM, see? It's like, yes.
Dominic, you're the mold, man. You keep our weird asses in check.
Is that what
Without you, this podcast would be just a wreck.
Just off the rails?
Yes, it would.
But can we, for 1 second, note that the kid ran away with the game the first time we played it?
You did. Yes, he destroyed everybody at this
he
game.
absolutely killed.
He was the Dr. Hannibal Lecter version character, and just
Dom was like at 1 life and 0 trophies, and he was like full bars of life, and then had like 8 trophies. Like only needed 2 more to win
in that game. No,
it was annoying. It's my birthday. I should have won every time we played. Just saying. I'm a sore loser. Whatever.
It's a fun game. You guys should check it out. We don't have any. We're not getting paid to tell you to check it out. But it was a cool horror. It was a horror board game that lived up to its.
I do want to try the Thing board game though.
Yeah, and I want to try
Infection at Outpost 31.
That looks really good. I also want to try Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Haunted House on Haunted Hill. I forget what it's called. Now all of a sudden, I don't remember. There's another board game I want to try. Betrayal on the House of the Hill, or Betrayal at the House on the Hill. There we go.
Mr. and Mrs. Walter Huckabee was telling me about that game last night.
Oh,
they said it's really good.
Yeah? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I hear the replay value is really good. So yeah, check out Mixtape Massacre if you want a real easy board game that's horror themed.
The thing about Mixtape Massacre though is there's not a lot of cards, and you go through them really quickly. You'll go through all of them in one game. And I wish there were more.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I just opened.
Can you buy an extension?
There's a
pack?
Black Mask expansion pack.
Oh,
that's available. So
we go.
I'm gonna have to get that because
you have to.
You're right. You go through. You do blaze through it.
them.
Yeah, you do blaze through it.
I mean, as much as I love a visit from Macho Man,
we did see him quite a lot.
We saw him quite too much.
Yeah. The I'm looking at the expansion has like 25 new Killer Scene Dude cards, which is the killer stuff, and plus 15 bonus track cards, and then 15 a bit of an event card. I don't know what that is. So there's a lot more in it, and new characters and everything. So
it's like Dungeons and Dragons.
It is nothing like Dungeons and Dragons. I swear to God, Chelsea, it is absolutely nothing like that game. Like Dungeons and Dragons is an awesome game. And I want you to play it,
guys. It's exactly like Dungeons and Dragons.
It is more
with
like
monster,
no.
with,
It is
with horror.
No, it is. It is not like that.
No, it is.
No, you've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Tom is trying to lead you down a path of not truth.
Of knowledge.
No.
Of actually knowledge. Did you just fake news me when I'm telling the truth?
Yes.
Over here? Okay, it is like Clue meets Candyland meets a horror movie. That's what it's like. It is not like Dungeons and Dragons.
And a shit ton of 80s references.
Tons. So if you're interested in finding this game, check out mixtapemassacre.com. That's where it's sold. So there's their free plug, guys. plugging you. But it's good. It's a fun game. It was totally a Kickstarter, I think. That's how it came and came out. And it looks like, oh man, the expansion's out of stock currently. Ooh, that's crazy. Oh, and the game is out of stock right now. They said they're restocking in April.
Suck it, bitch.
So
I saw some on Amazon though.
actually, by the time this episode comes out, I think you can find it on their stuff. But like, yeah, you should also be able to find it. By the time this episode's out, they should have stock, and then you can find it on Amazon. It's out there. It's worth it. It's a fun game. Yeah. All right. I think that's enough of horror news. Right? We good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
We're good for
All
horror
right.
news.
Yep.
That was horror news.
Horror news.
Oh, sorry.
It's newsy.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, now we should probably talk about the point of this episode, which is The Bride of Frankenstein. This movie, I feel like we're dragging our feet a little bit, and you guys have probably noticed that we've been like talking about a whole bunch of other stuff because here we're gonna lay some truth down on you guys. Here's the truth of this movie.
This movie's hokey as fuck.
Yeah, it's remembered better than it is. I'm sorry.
Hey, who's at my seat, man? Get out of here. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the real Screaming E. I don't know who that guy was, but let's get him the fuck out of here.
What the fuck?
I don't know
what just happened.
I don't even know what's happening anymore. But welcome back.
Who was that imposter?
I don't know, but that guy sucked.
Man, that guy looked exactly like you.
He was boring.
Wow, yeah, he was really boring. I'm glad that the real Screaming E is here.
Was that like a replicant, like out of like Starfighter, like the last Starfighter, like a robot, like the android that like takes the place of him? Were you like
been.
fighting space wars?
Could have been. I'll never tell.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, this movie is fucking boring and is a drag, to be honest.
I think it's hilarious. Like, I think the score is hilarious. Just the acting is terrible. That old lady annoys the shit out of me.
Didn't you just start this thing off about saying how much it sucked and how campy it was, hokey as fuck?
You know,
well, yes, it's hokey. It's hilarious. It's.
I'm just busting your balls, man.
I know you're. Stop it.
here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. It's remembered as a classic. The classic scene that's the best part of the movie is literally...
Is the last 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, the last few minutes of that movie when you actually see the bride. Yeah. It's a whole lot of silliness. I mean, if you haven't actually seen the movie, which I'm a little surprised, I'd be a little surprised if any of our listeners haven't seen the movie, so they must know. I mean, everybody hypes this up, but it's just not that great.
I feel like people might hype it up, but have never really actually like sat and watched the movie.
Well, people just
they're like, oh, it's got cool imagery and shit like that.
Well, people just like the bride because she looks dope as fuck.
It's one of the best designed monsters out there, like no doubt.
Design wise,
is she the first female monster?
Well,
ever?
I mean,
I don't know. I can't.
I mean, Metropolis.
Yeah,
was you know. I mean,
I feel
she
like
wasn't living.
I feel like that's one of the fun facts at the Alameda Theater, is that Bride was the first female monster.
I mean, it's definitely the first
screen.
universal horror monster. But I mean, she doesn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's such a great concept.
It could have been way better. To me, it was like an Abbott and Costello movie. Like, it was just so corny.
It was really cheesy.
Like, with the little fucking guys in the jars and women.
Oh,
like,
Dr.
I mean,
yeah.
Dr. Pretorius is like little tiny
Pretorius.
Pretorius.
Clitorius.
No, Pretorius.
Oh.
Pretorius.
Clitorius.
Pretorius. Yeah, it's just...
Notorious.
Director James Whale originally did Frankenstein and didn't want to do another sequel. He did it in 1931, and they bugged him for 4 years to do this. And it literally seems
it's obvious he didn't want to do this.
And I guess, I mean, there were a lot of problems. A lot of people got hurt making this. The other thing that I wonder, too, is that this movie, when we were researching it, It's apparently got censored to shit. Like apparently edited like crazy,
Yeah.
reshot. It's kind of a mess.
It
I don't
is.
know. I know everybody is probably out there going like, "What? You don't like Bride of Frankenstein?" I love the Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, no, it's like there's a lot of really
As
cool.
a female in horror,
Elsa Lanchester is amazing in her 3-minute role as a monster
Yeah.
and her very intro beginning as Mary Shelley, but like the look of it was just they nailed that. It's just the
Execution.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
really
parody.
they just really didn't put any thought at all in the script.
Like
did
Boris
not give a
Karloff, just the whole character of
Well,
Frankenstein's
Yeah,
monster,
well,
like whatever.
what I
it's just-
hated about that the most is Frankenstein talking.
He didn't want to.
Yeah,
He objected,
yeah.
well,
but they overruled him.
Well, just everything. And it was
and that's why his cheeks weren't sunken in.
Right, because he couldn't remove the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
He had his bridge removed.
but something me and you were discussing earlier, Dom, was that is young Frankenstein.
It is totally young Frankenstein.
Frau Brucher. I mean, come on, is the fucking funny ass fucking Hausfrau.
Honestly, if somebody was to ask me, like, I was thinking about watching Bride of Frankenstein, I would probably say, you know what? Watch Young Frankenstein. You'll have more fun.
Yeah. It's disappointing. I thought it could have been a good premise, good everything, but the execution was just kind of...
Why did it do so well? Like, why did this work so well? I mean, this was a success. Like, why was it a success? Like, why did people love this?
Was just riding the coattails of Frankenstein.
The whole monster movie thing in the early 30s and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Would be my guess as well.
I mean, they cut the crap out of it. I mean, the more I look at some of the deleted scenes they supposedly cut out, like, that had to have affected it. But I think the tone just had issues from the start. The monster being able to talk.
Boris dislocated his hip in the first scene.
Yeah. Was it Colin Clive had broken his leg right before horseback riding. Probably fell off the horse drunk.
This was the universe telling them not to make this.
Yeah, so most of the
thing.
scenes he's sitting down or like at a weird angle trying to hide his leg. And apparently he was way worse alcoholic on this movie than he was on the last movie. He'd gotten way worse.
I don't blame him.
Like, he was
Fuck,
heavily drunk most of the time, and but they liked his manic. And I mean, there's it's so weird because you could sit here and go, "This is a terrible movie," but then there's these amazing she's alive. Like,
I mean, there's good stuff in it.
We belong dead. Like all of these. Like,
I don't think it's not like super hard to watch or anything. It's like super cheesy, but I enjoy watching it because it's cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how you enjoy watching The Room.
I don't know. There's too much good in potential in this.
Yeah.
That didn't come to fruition.
No.
So it's like kind of painful to watch. Like, but they totally should have not done that or been this or did whatever and could have.
I mean,
made
it is
really
a bummer
good movie.
because they could have done way better with it.
And let's just talk about how superficial Bride of Frankenstein is, man.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness!
Damn. Just because the monster or Frankenstein or however you want to call it, whatever you want to call him, isn't like super good looking, there's no reason to scream at his looks. I mean, goddamn, he has feelings too.
Okay, here's the thing.
She's a baby.
Like, they grew her brain. They were very clear that they grew her brain in a
No
laboratory.
excuse. No
No,
excuse.
there is an excuse. Like, honestly, I find it weird that so many people play off of Frankenstein's monster, the monster, and the bride.
Oh, as like true love.
True love.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's so
I
many
want a
played up.
relationship like Frankenstein and the bride. No, they
You wanna
hated each
hate
other.
looking at
She
your
literally
dude?
woke up and he came on way strong, way intense, and she was just freaked out.
Yeah, he was like, "Touch me,
And then
touch me."
And
No,
then
in the very beginning, and he just comes, he says, "Friend,
yeah, and it's like,
friend," and she's
That
like,
was cute.
but she was literally like looking around, like taking everything in.
Yeah.
Her eyes are seeing things for the first time. She doesn't know words. She's literally like, she even said she like she took her complete all her cues from how a goose acts, like because she thought they were nasty little creatures. So she's hissing and staring at things and like just freaked out.
Right,
and
so
all of a sudden,
so she was playing the character as a nasty little creature.
dude, he's the first like troll bro that comes up and be like, "Be friends, we're friends, right?" And she's like, "Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa!" And then he's like, "All right, then everyone dies. You're a bitch. Fuck this."
Yeah.
Like, he's
Hey,
one of the
man.
first ones of those.
Yeah.
He was just excited to have another dead friend.
He need to calm himself down. Like that.
I
poor thing couldn't
guarantee.
even form
I guarantee,
words.
if any of us were dead and around living people that thought we were the fucking worst thing on earth, and we saw another dead person, be it male or female, we'd be like, "Oh my fucking god, you're my best friend now. We're like homies, right? Oh my god!" And if they were like, "Oh my god, get the fuck away from me," you'd be like, "What the fuck, man?" So I don't blame him at all. She's a jerk.
No, he's
She's a jerk.
he's way out of line. Like she didn't have a minute to form words, and then she's blown up. Like that girl didn't even know. Like she didn't even know anything. Like she wasn't even a person before.
No.
That wasn't like a brain from somebody's head. She
No,
didn't have
they
any memories.
created this brain. It wasn't even a brain from a dead body or anything.
I mean, think
It
about
wasn't-
that. She was born in an adult body,
Yes.
but with no like. Growth.
Speak about the body.
memories,
Speak about the body.
no.
What we were discussing before
What?
What about her body?
What about her body?
about
How she's a dancer and
how
has
she was
a
so
smoking
short.
body.
Oh yeah, she's
Oh,
only
yeah.
5'4". Yeah, and then they put her in stilts to make her 7 feet, which is why she's in that long gown like thing to hide the fact that girl's walking in stilts.
great costume.
I think
Super
she
cool.
looks. I mean, that's probably why it's so popular, is because she just looks so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great design.
Very
For
iconic
1930
design.
What was it? 1930.
5,
Five?
4, 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1935. Like for 1935, like that is such an amazing design. It's just, I don't know. I mean, definitely establishes Frankenstein as a jerk. You know what I think is a mistake? Dr. Pretorius at all.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
Dr.
I hate him. He
Well-
doesn't need to be in this.
He doesn't, because his personality. If any of you have ever read The Modern Prometheus, Mary Shelley's actual story, the monster is actually very intelligent, and becomes essentially a Dracula, like a type character, like a murdering, unstoppable monster with a chilling, evil brain, very intelligent. And Dr. Pretorius acts like how the monster actually is in the book. So it's like, if they wanted Karloff to talk, why didn't they just let him be Dr. Pretorius and the one that comes up and says, like, you have no choice. I'm kidnapping your wife,
Yeah.
who like, I'm gonna make Frankenstein make me a mate, like, but he's now this chilling evil presence, and really like shake it up. I think would have been a better movie.
Oh, because James Wolfe probably like, "Oh my god, I just want this fucking thing over. I don't want to do this." And
Yeah, James Whale was clearly not into it. I still can't believe, what's her name? The actress that played Frankenstein's fiance. She was only 17 years old. That girl is a mature-looking 17-year-old woman. Like, I had no idea. She is 17 years old, the actress. Her name is...
Yeah, she don't look 17.
No.
She don't look underage.
It's crazy.
she's only 17.
Valerie Hobson was 17 at that point. It's just I just would never have known that she was only 17 years old. But I suppose there's plenty of 17-year-olds who don't want to look 17 and manage not to.
Shout out to Kip Winger.
I can't believe you actually shouted out to Winger and the singer of Winger for their hit. She's only 17. That I have not thought about in a long time.
It's probably like their only good song. Well, actually, Battle Station was probably their best song from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. That's
I forgot
what
about it. They were in the soundtrack.
Open fire, raise your fist, battle station, station, station.
Wow,
It's a good song.
I forgot about that. Which honestly is a better movie than this movie. Like, I'm sorry, and I feel like we're gonna get. You know what? I'm saying it right now. I think we're gonna get flack for this.
Who
Really?
cares?
Yeah, no, I don't care.
For being honest.
I don't care.
Well, you know what?
It's-
The people are just fucking lying to themselves and be like, no, man, this movie's fucking awesome.
I don't think people think this movie's awesome, actually.
Frankenstein.
I don't
is
think
a
people
movie.
have watched it.
I've never
actually.
had a conversation with someone that was like, oh yeah, Bride of Frankenstein's my favorite movie. Like, everyone likes Bride. I still love Bride because she's fucking cool looking.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
got 7.9 stars on IMDb.
How does it have almost 8 stars?
because it's been around for fucking
What did I-
almost 100
What?
years.
That's bizarre.
Wait, check this out. I'm actually on IMDb right now, and somebody wrote in August 2002, forget the likes of Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back, or Bride of Frankenstein is the greatest example of a sequel completely surpassing the original in terms of sheer brilliance.
The person should be shot.
What?
I can't tell if they're smiling. They must be being sarcastic.
I hope
the film
so.
is regarded as a high point of Universal horror series and stands as a testament to the genius of James Whale.
No.
Did they watch the same movie? This film has it all: superb casting, tremendous sets, makeup, memorable dialogue. I mean, there's great lines. There's great lines. To a new world of God and monsters, friend, good. I mean, though that's okay. All right, you know, I'll back that. There's some good lines, but only good lines. Brilliant score. The score is very popular.
I know it. Yeah,
See,
I did
I
read
was
that
not
it was
a
very
big
popular.
fan of it.
I
The-
thought it was cheesy though.
They
It was
used
like
it- yeah.
out of place.
Yeah, totally out of
The
place.
beginning when he's like throwing the couple that the daughter that he killed.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like a comedy, like
It was. I was LOLing all today watching it.
This is no, the soundtrack ended up being used for Flash Gordon with Buster
I
Crabbe,
did read that. Yeah.
who
which is
by
also
the
a
way-
better movie.
It's a better movie. It is a better movie. I used a Buster Crabbe. I drew Buster Crabbe as Frankenstein. I have a drawing where I used Buster Crabbe, the actor, as a menacing my version of Frankenstein.
I would watch this movie again though.
I've watched it a couple times. I own it.
I
own
think it's corny as fuck, but
it's really corny.
I still think it's kind of watchable.
This person is super high. I'm okay. I'm gonna look at see what Rotten Tomatoes says about this movie because I don't.
Because Rotten Tomato is brutal.
We would think, but I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to look up stuff on other sites while we're talking, but I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that people are like, yeah, Bride, fucking, that's the best.
Because people haven't really watched it, and they're just like, oh, for the same reason everyone thinks that the fucking Bride and the monster are like some fucking hot to trot couple.
Oh, I know. No, they're not. They hate each other.
It has 100%.
Jesus Christ.
And 87 by the audience.
This is bizarre.
Everyone's
to me.
been eating Tide Pods for the last fucking 80 years.
Critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is it's an eccentric, campy, technically impressive, and frightening picture.
It's
What the
definitely
fuck?
campy.
It is aged remarkably well. I don't know if I'd go that far.
There's way better things from the 30s. Way better movies from the 30s.
Yeah.
They're all, the world is crazy. Listen, people, I'm gonna break it down to you. You're wrong.
Preach, Dom, preach.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and let me tell you why. This is a wasted effort, and The Bride is amazing, and I understand why we all love her, but she needed a movie, and it would have been nice if she hadn't gotten blown up at the end of this one, but they blew up the others and they made a movie, so I'm not sure why then they just kept it going and given her a chance.
Yeah,
But
why couldn't she be indestructible?
the movie's a cartoon, and if I think you should see it, but again, if you asked me, I would tell you to just go watch Young Frankenstein. You'll have more fun, and it makes more sense, and it's just, I'm sorry. It's not, I don't know. I think we're going to get flack for this. I don't mind, but I think that people love this movie and are going to be like, how could you hate on Bride of Frankenstein? And it's like, and I'm going to say, how can you not?
Yes.
I would like to hear people say that they like this movie so that I could tell them they're idiots.
Yeah. And I guess our only main disagreement here is that Shotzi and I are saying that Bride is totally it is totally in the rights and it's unfair.
I don't even want to give it a
She got
rating. I
attacked.
don't even want to give it my candy corn fuckers.
Candy corn fuckers. What? I don't see. That's a tricky one because I believe this movie should get props for certain things, and then it just should not get any props. For
All right,
certain
rating
things.
time.
She's
Dominic.
not gonna give a rating.
Dominic,
I
what?
don't. Yeah, I mean, like, I love Bride. I fucking love her. She's so cool looking, and like, I will wear all of the Bride shirts and buy all of the Bride action figures. But this movie is kind of stupid.
So how many cute little funky strutting zombie candy corns are you giving?
Fine, I will rate it then. It like a 2.5. I don't know, and that's only because the Bride is cool. And also, I do like Frankenstein's kills in this. They're hilarious. When he throws the mom down the well, that was really funny. She lands right on her head.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Dominic?
This is incredibly hard for me to rate because as a movie written, it deserves like my lowest 1 star. It's terrible. But as a design as a concept of the monster bride herself, the look of her, some of the great iconic
Which
lines
she's
that came
only
of this,
in the movie for 1 minute, so
just like literally wasted at the end. This movie could have been so much more. I mean, it had a kill count originally of 21 deaths, and they cut it down to the 10 it has.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this movie had some sort of edge to it that was just lost. And originally they were going to kill Frankenstein, which is why you see him right before the whole place goes up, but then he's also on the outside. They refilmed a happier ending. I mean, this movie's a mess, guys. It's just silly. Like, what is he making? These little miniature...
I'm sorry, I
creatures?
doodle too much.
No, you doodle as much as you want. But I would say... I mean, I feel like I have to give it 2 ratings, you know? It's like, for the concept of the bride and the iconic imagery that came from
5.
her, 5.
5
For
out
the
of 5.
movie on its own, if I was to rate it as just as a movie, I'd say 2. But I will say this, everybody, if you're listening, whether you're creators or people, stop putting them together. They were not friends. They're not in a relationship.
No, they hate each other.
They really didn't get along.
Best enemies.
He murdered her because she didn't just cuddle up to him within a minute of meeting.
Yeah.
Whether you don't like her for that,
he couldn't give
and
her
I'm
some
looking
time.
at you, E, or you realize that the poor thing had not a moment to form a word in her head. Like, that is not a relationship.
If he thinks back to when he was born and he was just this destructive monster who couldn't talk, had 0 feelings, he was just born into this world where he didn't know what the fuck was going on and why he's in this body.
He had an abnormal brain.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again, a reference to a much better movie that this movie inspired. But yeah, man, I have to give it 2 ratings. I don't like the movie, but I love her, and I welcome any merchandise that has the bride on it. Stop making them lovers; they're not lovers. Like,
Yeah, right.
Save that for any other monster combo.
Oh, now all the people who have tattoos of like bride.
Like, fuck this podcast. You guys are assholes.
Oh man, I forgot about that. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I know you guys feel that. You know, some of you guys got tattoos.
Well,
like
you
that.
know, wait. Let's be honest. Most of them are probably in really dysfunctional relationships, so it's probably accurate. Anyway.
I mean, there's a lot of people who celebrate the Joker and Harley, and that is not a healthy relationship.
That's
either.
true, too.
That is literally the opposite, but okay.
I mean, even they have a better relationship.
Yeah, they at least
All right.
kind of.
Before I pass the torch to you, I will then lastly say this: like, okay, if your head canon in your own little world, they're lovers and they're happy, good for you. You can have your tattoo. But he murdered her. He murdered her right after she was born. I just want you to know that. They're cuddling on your arm or on your leg, and he murdered her. E, what do you think?
I'm going to give it a 2 only because there was a lot of potential in there. The characters, except for fucking Dr. Clitorius, good actors, good potential in the characters, and the new one, she should have been in at least most of the movie and developed more. It should have been about her.
Oh, that's so cool. She'd been...
But yeah, just based on that alone too, everything else in it was just like a huge wet fart. So yeah, 2.
Disagree if you want. We'd love to hear from you. But you're still gonna be wrong.
What side are you guys on to calling the monster Frankenstein as opposed to calling him just the monster?
I hate it. And this movie started that problem.
Really?
This is the movie that started the problem.
You don't like that?
Because
You don't like...
Well, I mean, I guess if you consider him the son of Dr. Frankenstein, then technically the monster's name could be Frankenstein.
Well, yeah, I see it as a nickname. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I refer to him as Frankie.
But it came from that first movie. People started referring to the monster as Frankenstein, and then this movie made it canon when Dr. Pretorius did it. Said the bride of Frankenstein in front of Victor Frankenstein, whose fiance, the actual bride of Frankenstein, was being held hostage in a barn, or cave down the way. But this was the movie I think that like solidified that
the monster is Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't call the monster Frankenstein.
I do.
You know,
I call Dr. Frankenstein Dr. Frankenstein.
If you want to get technical, be like, oh, but realistically, it's Frankenstein. Everybody knows it's Frankenstein. It's referred to, the monster is referred to as Frankenstein for the last fucking however many decades. So
technically, if you look on the credits, he is credited as the monster Boris Karloff. So yes, he is the monster.
Yeah, he's called the monster.
His nickname, I feel like he was nicknamed after his creator. So yes.
Well, I mean, it's fucking Frankenstein. If you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go watch Frankenstein," no one thinks of fucking
Dr.
Frankenstein. They think of Boris Karloff.
Yes.
So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
Like I said, your own little headcanon, that's fine. He murdered her. And, I want everyone to actually feel free to believe what they want to believe. He murdered her dead, like, minutes after she was alive.
She was just a baby.
It's not the first time he's murdered a young girl, though.
It's
that
no,
was on
honestly,
accident.
If you're happy...
he murdered that little girl on accident. This was on purpose.
This was on purpose. This is
premeditated murder.
There was no confusion. It's just like she had like 2 minutes to react to him.
Yes.
And then that was it. Yeah, like she couldn't even form words. Though I thought, speaking of the girl that he murdered by accident, Marilyn Harris, the girl who played Maria, did you guys catch this? Because I did not catch this. The girl that played the young girl that was drowned is the leader of the group of schoolgirls that encounter the monster as he runs away from the blind man's burning house. And she actually says, "Look!" And so they did that. They gave her a line, so she got paid more than just being an extra. She actually had a spoken line.
Just to be nice?
Yeah, but that's that same
just
girl.
Throw her a bone?
Yeah, she's
that's
one of the few actors from the original that made it into the next. Which I think is kind of neat. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't recognize her at all. There's no way I picked it up. I'm sure some heads out there have it. He murdered her. He murdered her dead.
Yeah, Frankenstein's a bully.
She didn't deserve it. He's the first, internet bro troll. Yeah, it is. The same as those guys that are like, "Dude, you're so hot. Can we, hang out? Can I put my penis between your lips?"
No.
And you go, "No." And they're like, "You're a bitch, you're fat. You're so fat and ugly."
Come on, man. Come on.
Exactly.
That is Frankenstein.
I'm going to kill you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That is Frankenstein.
Listen.
He's an asshole.
Listen. Those guys have fully formed human brains. He has a fucking dead brain that's of a criminal, and he's dead.
They have abnormal brains. They have abnormal brains.
It's not quite the same.
It's quite the same.
Apples and oranges, man.
I think you're beautiful. You're so hot. Can we be together forever? No way. I don't even know you. Fuck you, fat bitch. That's exactly what happened at the end of this movie.
You guys are very sexist. Is all I can say.
That is literally not what is going on here.
I don't know.
That said,
oh no, but I'm eating this chicken wing.
And it's still a better movie.
This chicken wing's a better movie, yes.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. That's it for this episode. I think we've beaten up this movie enough and made you guys all mad. I'm sure we're going to get, people are going to be bummed that we don't like this movie. But, hey, Bride of Frankenstein, forever. Bride of Frankenstein, as a movie, is terrible. The Bride is great. I guess that doesn't make sense. Let me try that again. The Bride forever. Bride of Frankenstein is a terrible movie.
Suck my chicken wing.
Yeah, we're out of here. Suck my shit. Alright.
That was the best one, huh?
You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. Want to find out more about the show? Find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Monster Candy Podcast. And you can find our Twitter at MonsterCNDYPC. Hey, we couldn't fit the whole name. What do you want from us? Let us know what you think of the show and if we're right or if we're wrong or what you want us to tackle next. We want to hear from you. Well, Shotzi and I do, but I can promise that E doesn't really care. To find out more about Shotzi Blackheart and her professional wrestling, follow her Twitter at Shotzi Black or her Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can follow Screamin' E's band, the Memphis Murdermen, on Facebook at TMMM official page or his Instagram at Screamin' E. That's screaming with no G, add the E. For me, Dominic Davy, you can find my artwork at dominicdavy.com, my band Tsunami Bomb at tsunamibomb.net, and you can hear my other podcast, 3 Gigs, at 3gigspodcast.com or on the same platform you're hearing this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Monster Candy Podcast.